From this side of the Atlantic, it does feel like there is almost an inevitability. You can certainly see the flight path Donald Trump is taking towards the next presidential election. But there are a number of significant and senior figures within the Republican movement who are trying to push back, so far without much success.
Well, let's take a look at what we're looking at with the Republican Party. All right, the reason Liz Cheney lost is because she refused to go along with Donald Trump's lie that the 2020 elections were stolen. Right, and the fact that he lied about that, he incited an insurrection, and he's a continuing threat to America's national security, seems to mean nothing to the Republican Party. The question you have to ask is why? And that's because the Republican Party has become a cesspit of incitement, threats, conspiracy theories, violence, fear, threats of all kinds. And they keep spouting baseless claims and dangerous lies. To whom? To the politically illiterate worshippers of Donald Trump. That is who the Republican Party is today. So I am not surprised, and I'm sure Liz Cheney is not surprised either that she lost. The point is, she took the stance that is rare in the Republican Party today. The stance to put country before party. The stance to put democracy before authoritarianism. That is what is important. Even though Liz Cheney voted with Trump 93% of the time, the fact that she refused to go along with his lie about the 2020 elections, she was totally condemned for that. And that is why she lost the seat. So right now, whoever used to be minority in the Republican Party, they are now the majority, the extremism. Those who are pushing for that divisive rhetoric. That is who the Republican Party represents today.
I mean, certainly, Scotty, in terms of that Mar-a-Lago FBI raid, you can see some tensions within the Republican movement on that. A lot of people suggesting that the FBI have acted improperly, but some senior figures pointing out, some of the rhetoric that is being deployed, particularly by those closest to Donald Trump, is really undermining the role of law enforcement in the United States.
Well, the one thing that we have to talk about in regards to the FBI raid is it's absolutely backfired. This was meant to demonize Trump. This was meant to have him be let off in handcuffs eventually. And what we're seeing is a major boondaggle on behalf of the Democrats and the FBI, which have basically become sort of the same thing. As we now know that the FBI will not release the unredacted warrant. We now know that we couldn't even figure out if Merrick Garland was involved. First he claimed he wasn't. Now he wasn't. And now we're hearing that they took Donald Trump's passports, even though they denied they did. They've now admitted and given them back. There's so many lies coming out of the FBI right now. It is one thing. You can question your government. Here in the United States, in fact, that is our job, according to the Constitution, is to question our government peacefully. But we should hold them accountable. And there is a difference between the FBI and our intelligence agencies and law enforcement, who are literally supposed to keep our streets safe. And Democrats want to right now reverse the course and make it look like Republicans are against law and order, when it could be farther from the truth. What Republicans want is accountability, truth, and transparency, especially from our intelligence agencies, who have been time and time again proven to have been lying to the American people and lying to the world in many cases.
But this
sure, I suspect that there'll be much in what Scotty has said that you disagree with, but I'm wondering if I can find one of those rare points of agreement. And when she said that the FBI raid has backfired, I mean, it does look like it has.
No, it hasn't. Listen, let's understand what the FBI, not raid, their legally authorized search was about. They searched Mar-a-Lago. Why? Because the U.S. Department of Justice is investigating whether or not Donald Trump violated the Espionage Act, violated additional statutes for, obstruction of justice, and whether or not he potentially destroyed federal government records. I'm sorry, when did Donald Trump become above the law? He's not above the law. So what they have done was legally authorized. And the conviction for this is imprisonment. Now, Scotty's talking about the Republican Party wanting truth, accountability. That's exactly what they do not want. Donald Trump is feeding everybody an alternative reality. He's creating this, claiming that, first of all, he lied. He said, he didn't have classified documents, and came back and said, oh, actually, I do have classified documents, but I declassified them. I'm sorry. You don't get to declassify, top confidential nuclear weapon documentation. You don't get to do that as president. That is not how it works. And he even made claims that there was a standing order to declassify this. His former national security advisor, John Bolton, came out and said there was no such standing order. The lies are only coming from one side. The lies are coming from one person, the lying chief, Donald Trump, and the liar party, Republicans. And that's what we're talking about here. They're trying to undermine law enforcement. They are not speaking the truth. I mean, look at what they put Hillary Clinton through with the Benghazi trial. Look at everything that they did in order to undermine other people. They do not want to go through the same process that they put the Democrats under. That is wrong.
I want to give Scotty a chance to come back here, not least because I know, having gone through our Twitter feed this morning, you've got views on the intervention of John Bolton, at least.
Well, absolutely. And you look at John Bolton right now. I mean, any guy right now that absolutely admitted, in fact, we did the segment here on Sky News where he admitted that he was behind multiple coups around the United States. I'm not going to put much faith and trust in him. But here's what's interesting. If it was all about transparency, and I respect Shola's passion about it, and she's so vehement in what she's saying, I wish there was evidence to back up what she was saying is true. But we don't know. And that's a week later. We still do not know what was in, what the FBI was looking for, what they found. And after months of the Trump campaign and his attorneys working with the FBI, why did they decide to do this raid?
No,
Sorry, I don't go along with the talking points. I don't just brush things aside. I don't whitewash things. It was a raid. You have to call it a raid. What it is, Shola, it's the truth. And we still don't know what they were looking for, what they were going after. But whatever they were looking for, they didn't find. Or else you would see a press conference on the front steps or in front of the Hoover Building, showing all of the evidence that they gave. And you're not seeing it. Hence why you're seeing this major backlash.
We don't know that. Listen, in the normal
You're right.
process,
We don't know. There's a reason why.
listen, I let you speak.
Thank you.
In the normal process of law enforcement, they're meant to now decide, based on the information they have, whether or not they're going to carry on with prosecuting him. We don't have to see what's in the warrant. They've already let us know what they took from his house. They've let all of that
Passports illegally.
But they have said, because they're not hiding anything, because Donald Trump is not going to be the first person's home who has been searched by the FBI. So I do not understand why it has to be different this time. Why must you see it now? Let the process take its course. Let there be a public trial. Let everybody see what's going on. You want to talk about transparency? Then wait the turn of having legal process take its place rather than try to, create an alternative reality. Because what you're saying, Scotty, you are doing the talking points of the Republican Party. You are doing the talking points of Donald Trump.
Let's give it a chance. Go on then, Scotty. You get 30 seconds. We'll come back to you, Shola, for a comment in a sec.
Absolutely. Bravo. Mission accomplished, Shola. You're right. It was all about the FBI being able to say that they raided for the first time in history the president's home. And guess what? That's all they wanted to say. Their ultimate goal is to see Donald Trump in handcuffs, and they have yet to find the evidence yet. All this does, however, is continue to backfire, continues to actually help Trump keep him in the news. And with everything coming out with the Governor Whitmer case and how much the FBI entrapped those citizens over there, we're now finding out the truth about it. There's very little trust right now in the FBI, and transparency is the last thing they want. What they want is a PR move. This has nothing to do with justice.
Oh, that is not true. That is not true. And I
Shola, you've got 30 seconds and I'm counting you.
Okay, so let's understand this purely. Understand that what is happening right now is a right course of action. If Donald Trump has obstructed justice, if Donald Trump has taken classified documents, he has to be held to account. I have no issue with that, and neither should you. That is the point here. So let's stop demonizing the FBI agents. Let's stop getting people to threaten them and threaten the judge that approved the search in the first place. That is wrong. That's not democracy. I will always stand for democracy before authoritarianism, and that is not what the Republican Party is doing.
But you didn't do that in front of the SCOTUS. You did not do that in front of Kavanaugh's house a few weeks ago when they actually wanted to assassinate him and his family. You didn't stand up for them then. That's why I thought these fake tears just don't work for me.
Right.
Sorry,
Stop.
My countdown timer has gone all the way to the bottom. Scotty, Shola, it is lovely to see you as always, but never before have I been more thankful for the Atlantic. Ladies, we'll see you again soon. Take care.